Okay, as you heard, recording is in progress. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Or me too. Welcome to the, man, are we in September already? It's crazy. September Conversations at the Center. Lovely to see all you here today. Y'all, I got pages and pages and pages of questions. It's awesome. I love it. Now, because we have so many questions, there was a lot of personal little tidbits in these questions, like I think this or that. I am just going to read the question. I've crossed out all the personal stuff. However, I have read every single one of these, okay? So I don't want you to think that because I'm not reading it, I haven't seen it. I hear the concerns about the foster program. I hear the concerns and the desires for a foster to adopt program being different than what we have now. So we're going to, I get that, and we'll discuss it in a manager's meeting, I promise. Okay. So first off, oh, and I got these, I'm reading them in the order that I received them. So I think we posted at like 11, and around 11:20, man, those questions started coming in. So, which is awesome. All right, what do current adoption statistics look like compared to pre-pandemic? That is a great question. And I happen to have a chart right here that y'all can see. So this is the comparison. You look, the blue is 2019, orange is 2020, and the gray right here is 2021. Now I did these off of percentages, and if you've watched me at all, you know I'm kind of a percentage guy because the numbers are really misleading. For instance, if you have 100 adoptions, but your intake was only 400, that percentage is going to be really, really high. But if you have 100 adoptions and your intake was 1,000, like it has been in 2019, we had a couple thousands, that 100 is going to be way, way low. But on a chart, it would be charting exactly the same at 100 adoptions. So percentage for me gives me a better story of where we're at. So you can see this gray line is where we're at in 2021. And January was a great month. And then we dropped down to 26. And then it's been this downward spiral, not spiral, but just a slope. And we're starting to go back up. When you look at 2019, I mean, we're not that far away. 19%, 17%. Here we are at 18% in July, 24% in July. So we are talking a lot higher than the 5% back in July that we did in 2020. 2020, as you can see, was a crazy year because of the pandemic. We are still not out of the pandemic, just keep in mind, still going strong on that one. So that's what it looks like compared to other years. Cross that one off. Are the pandemic restrictions causing lower adoption rates? When I go to answer that question, I think pandemic restrictions, are those like the state restrictions, or are they the ones that the ASCMV has placed? And in reality, y'all, we don't really have any pandemic restrictions in place except for a mask. That's the only pandemic related one we have. The animals being seen on the website and not having to come and see it or get an appointment, those are no longer pandemic. Those are our policies that we are keeping. And so that information is there. Next question. Why not just limit the number of individuals that can be seen, that can be in the shelter at a looking time and require masks so more people can view animals? Again, our restrictions, I'm going to stop sharing my page here. The restrictions that we have are not COVID related. It has to do with the health of the individual or of the herd of the animal. So we are wanting them to stay that way, excitability, etc. So it has nothing to do with the number of people in the center. Why are you turning away intake of animals based on COVID? We're not turning any animals away based on COVID. And this is probably going to answer a lot of questions. So I want to show this page too. Need to come back to Zoom, share my screen. So this is an actual paper I took and I made a scanned copy of, okay? This is what we give to individuals when they come in and they have an owner surrender animal. So they own it, they want to send it, or they want to give it to us. We say, thank you for coming to us. However, we are extremely full right now at the Animal Center. We would like you to go and contact some of these areas, do these other websites, and try to find a home for your pet. And right here at the bottom, we say ASCMV is your last option. You need to make an appointment with us and we'll take an animal. We'll take this animal. Every single one of these, what we have is people usually go out in the parking lot and they call. And if they can't either reach somebody or they get a no from rescues, which I urge, if you are full, don't say yes, say no. And then they come back in or they'll call us and they say, I called everybody, can't hear. And then we say, okay, let's get and set an appointment. If there's an appointment open right then, we'll take the animal right then. If they even threat, if they even make a hint at a threat of dumping the animals, we will take them right then and there. We've done in the past. What we cannot control is what people are doing after they leave. We had one instance where a person was the nicest they could be. We have video of him talking with Michelle and he's like, oh, okay, yeah. And I think it was either 2 dogs or 3 dogs. All right. He drove and took a ride on Baton Memorial, took a ride on Rinconada, and then back here behind the shelter, he dumped his dogs. Dogs got out. One of them got hit by a car. The other one was loose in the desert and we were trying to get it. A situation like that, we have no control over it. He was saying, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, not a problem. So just keep that in mind. But we do give the options, and then we say that we will take the animal at the end. I've seen on some places on Facebook where we're refusing. We're not refusing. We're just asking that you take responsibility of the pet, try to find an owner first, and if not, then we'll be able to take the animal.
Excuse me, Clint, I have a question on that.
Yes.
So the Doña Ana Humane Society, this is April's group, right? The county group, because I don't know that they do adoption. I mean, they don't have a service for rehome or surrender.
Yeah, we're having somebody go through right now and contacting those rescues and others and seeing what they can offer for it. For instance, we took off Humane Society of Southern New Mexico on our new folder or our new handout we're giving, just because I know that there's a situation there and they don't need any more animals.
And also, just to clarify, it just depends on, we have that list and it just depends on what the person is surrendering for. We may tell them specifically contact this person or specifically contact that person. Doña Ana County Humane Society, for example, would be if they're having medical needs, maybe training the animal, stuff like that. It's cool. Just that they're all grouped on this one paper. They're not supposed to be given the paper and say, see what you can do. It's
right. Cool. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Could I make a suggestion, Clint, when you guys go to tweak the handout, that maybe you show one that is resources and another that is, like Michelle was saying on docs is more for the R fun and, rough to ready, that kind of thing. And if you could maybe show them more in categories, and may I also suggest that you include region, the region for, because there's some that are breed rescues. I noticed Cherished Canines isn't on there, and maybe there's a reason for that, but those are just some of my suggestions, because just like Monica said, Doña Ana County Humane Society is going to be they have 3 programs. There are rough to ready and they're seniors, you know, and that is really an adoption program through the shelter.
All right, thank you. Everybody, if we're going to get through these questions, we have to hold off on the comments. If you feel like you have something strongly you want to say, please email me. I promise you, I'm reading the emails and we're seeing them, okay? But I'm not kidding you. I think we have about 15 pages to get through. What needs to be done to make this a no-kill shelter? As many of you know, no-kill shelter means a 90% live release rate. 90% of the animals coming into the shelter, leaving alive. That's the percentage we have to get at. If you're interested in what our percentage is, you can go to our website under annual reports, and you can see what each year is ending at for a live release rate. I believe last year we ended at 87%. Bernice, if you want to speak up if that's incorrect. I know it's been going up a little bit each year. All right, next one is anyone working towards more opportunities for low cost, no cost spay and neuter for the entire community, as well as low cost, no cost shots for the community on a full-time basis? I put on here that, I mean, yes, we're always working towards that. The center is. When the new center is completed in 2022, this facility will become the medical building. We're going to be doing high capacity spay and neutering, also doing vaccines, things like that. We have already partnered with SNAP. We're doing the low cost with SNAP. You have to qualify through SNAP, we'll do it, and that's for the general public. And I know there's other vets in the area. Get on Facebook, look at the animal pages. There's a lot of other vets that are doing the low cost or no cost shots. I can tell you that the center is going to be doing more. We have another clinic, the drive-through clinic, coming up in the end of October. We'll have more information coming out about. But again, $10 for a vaccine can't be. Is anyone working toward cracking down on backyard breeders who continue to add to the horrific animal overpopulation problem in our community? Not to my knowledge. It's an ACO question. You're more than welcome to contact animal control for that, and they might be able to help you out with the ordinance or questions you have. Are you looking at communities that do not have animal population problems like our community does to see what policies are working for them to curb this problem? I think a better answer or a better way to ask that is, are we looking at places that used to have the problem but have overcome it? And the answer is yes. I've been talking, the previous director of Dallas Animal Control was on the National Animal Care and Control Association board with me. We've had a lot of discussions of what they do. It all comes down to spay and neuter availability. And right now, Las Cruces does not have it. When you can count the number of veterinarians on two hands that are here in the valley, like 1.5 hands, and then look at the amount of animal population we have, it's not realistic. There's some serious changes that need to happen. We're trying to get vets. You guys, we've been looking for a vet, Dr. Haddon, for 6 months now. We've sent postcards out to over 200 different places throughout the region, not the state, but the region. So it's a tough one that we are continuing to get at. What do you all need help with to increase cooperation and coordination with rescues out of the area to get animals transported to those rescues in areas with higher demand? Transport is not the problem. We have 2 vehicles. We can transport just fine. It's finding these rescues that are not full that will take them. With our flight success we've had recently, we have had a really hard time. Y'all, it's not as easy as just sending animals out. Monica can tell you, it is a process of finding the rescues that will take animals, and then the flight, they need to know weeks and weeks in advance whether it's on board or not. So that's what we need help with, is getting a hold of these rescues that will take some animals. If you have somebody in mind, you can have them contact either Amy or Liz here at the center. All you have to do is just give us a call the main number, and you'll get transferred over to Liz or Amy and leave that information. If they're not there, just leave a voice. All right, are you giving those who foster with your rescues are you giving those who foster with you resources to help them care for their foster pets? Yes, we are, and no, we aren't. Yes, in the fact it depends on what you're fostering. If you foster a baby kitten, like the bottles, we give you a whole kit. We give you instructions. It has the KMR milk. It has bottles, everything that you'll need. If you do a full-size dog, we'll give you some dog food, and then whatever you may ask for. If you ask for a dog, we have plenty of dog kennels that we can lend you, and so on. So all you have to do is ask. We also offer, the animals are fully vetted. They're also vaccinated. They're also microchipped. And you have an amazing veterinarian, Dr. Haddon, that's here on hand for any of the animals that are fostering with us that you can call, get an appointment, or you can also email her and she can answer questions the best that she can. Most likely though, she'll tell you to call, make an appointment, and so she can see it. You consider putting some of these resources in place to help fosters and making this information easily accessible. All you have to do is just ask. The worst that's going to be told is no. So that would be my recommendation. Ask if you can have something, ask if something can be provided, etc. How is the gate access to BLM land going to walk dogs and reclaim Q, IMK, SA, and SP counts? So this, I thought I'd already addressed this with the individual, but I must not have. So there is a gate in reclaim in our green roof area. There's a gate in the back, and I talked to the contractors, and as long as dogs are just being walked straight across the area, and there's a fence, but where the fence hits the, it's hard to explain, up the fence line where the fence, temporary fence, hits the ASC and V vents, it's not connected. So you just walk through that area and down. What we noticed yesterday in our walkthrough that we did, the managers, not yesterday, Wednesday, is that they put a ginormous pole, what's it called? A power line pole right in front of the gate for reclaim. So what our recommendation is going to be is if we can, the gate's modular, we can just take the gate off and shift things down. So we'll be doing that, but first we have to get our new lot area set up because the 13th, no, Doc, what is it, the 20, what date are we losing lot? The 19th?
Good. Honestly, I don't know. I want to say the 26th, but that could be the 20th.
20th.
Okay. So the 20th, we're losing this entire lot area. The whole thing, about from my window north, is going to be all lost. Construction is going to take it over. They're dismantling everything. So that means we need to get a new place of where to impound animals for animal control and also us. That's going to be moving over into the X kennels. So right now we're transforming the X kennels, which is the exterior kennels over by the transportainer in the back on the east side of the building. We're moving or turning that into the impound area. Second question, what is the communication method policy with volunteers? So with this one, there's a talk that not very many people use Facebook. And that is very true. I talked to Yolanda about it this morning, and she said she's done, Yolanda is our new volunteer coordinator. So she has done individual emails when she needs to contact. She does announcements on Facebook that need to go out on a large scale. But I told her to send an email out this morning, a blast to all volunteers. So if you did not get that, and I confirmed that it has been sent, if you did not get that, you need to let her know. Call the center, or I can give you her email address. It is the letter Y and then JURADO@los-cruces.org. So again, YJURADO@los-cruces.org. If you did not get that email that was sent out this morning, be sure to reach out to her to confirm your email address. All right, here's some more. Is there an opportunity to have a foster to adopt program? What this person is talking about, and they explain it more, is a foster to adopt program where you foster the animal in hopes to adopt it. We also call it a foster failure. which is a good thing. So I want to clarify that we have a program in place already where somebody adopts an animal and they have 3 weeks to bring it back. And there's no repercussions because they bring it back. They can bring it back for any reason they want. They don't like it. It chases their dog or it barks. It doesn't matter. They're not redlined. They're not put on a hit list or anything like that. Do not adopt list, nothing. It's basic. And that's the reason why we did it that way, is that anybody can bring it back. So anybody can adopt and anybody can bring it back in that amount of time.
Hey, Clint, real quick.
Really quick, Star, we don't have a lot of time.
Okay, hey, is that the same for fosters? Because so they're not like go home with an animal, come back, and then it like fully aggressive to their other animals. Is that the same with them on forgiveness on that?
Of course.
Okay, because I know a couple said that they were getting a hard time because they brought back an animal.
So
I just wanted to clarify.
So this is another thing about complaints. Throughout this entire thing, all of these are complaining about things, but it is just generalities. I don't have a name. I don't have a time. I don't have a person. I don't even have a person description. So if you have problems with somebody at the center, get their information, find out who they are so I can address it. I cannot do, if it goes to disciplinary action, can you imagine if I put an individual matching your description? I can't do a disciplinary action with that. So I have to have specifics. So if somebody feels offended, if somebody, et cetera, then let me know. But yeah, it goes for everybody. There's no reason why anybody should, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get back. There we go. So there's no reason why anybody should feel like they're getting picked out on. All right, when people call to the shelter to own or release their animal, why are you not telling them you cannot take because you're too full when legally you have to accept the animal? So we're not saying that. We've already gone over that. We're telling individuals that they need to take some responsibility for this, your animal, try to find an owner. If not, we will take it. And then next question, why are people then being told to call animal control so the animal is picked up and impounded anyways? We are not doing that. If they are doing that, then that's up to them, but we are not saying to do that. If you know any specifics of who is saying that, let me know so we can correct that. I've already talked to Michelle about this a long time ago because we had complaints from animal control that it was happening. We pulled up the reports for animal control and it happened once. So from what we can see coming from the center, in other words, the animal control put our address down as the place of impoundment. So we have to know specifics so we can correct it. All right, that's all for that one. Why is animal control being misused by the shelter on a regular basis, which is causing owners to abandon their animals on the side of the roads or worse? We're not doing that. Animal control being misused by the shelter, I don't think we are. And I don't think that there's any grounds for that comment either. Again, specifics would be great. How much grant money does the shelter receive or will receive per cat for the spay neuter on a TNR community cat? None. We are pursuing some grants to assist with that, but we don't receive any grant money for that. What is the cost for the shelter per cat to have the spay neuter performed? It's $65 is how much it costs the center. And that's all for that one. Why does an owner get a chance to readopt their animal when it has been confiscated by animal control due to killing another dog? That's a great question. We at the Animal Service Center, I cannot hold somebody's property without proper legal action before that. So if animal control impounds a dog because it attacked and killed another dog, and they don't file any court hearing or citations or anything, there's nothing I can do. I have to give the animal back to the person because it's their property. Also, if the animal comes in as a stray, and if the owner has no owner information, and the owner goes, and the animal, we can't duplicate any aggressiveness on the animal's part. then yeah, the owner can come in and adopt it. I don't know who the owner is. If they never say, then that's what it's going to be. And then they say, how is this acceptable? And do you deny these allegations? No, I don't deny them. It has happened. We've had animal control come back and say, why did you give the dog back? And we're like, because he didn't file any court papers. We have to. So it's an issue of both sides. Now there is another one that they comment about livestock and specifically chickens. I'm sorry, I'm not going to euthanize a heeler because it's chasing chickens, or I'm not going to euthanize a lab because it is trying to retrieve a duck or a chicken. And I'm definitely not going to euthanize a heeler because it ran after somebody and bit their heel. I'm sorry, but these are things that these animals are bred to do. And also, it's on most of them, it's the owner's responsibility to know the animal and to keep the animal contained. Now, if the dog, I had a case in another place where I worked where the dog reached over the fence, grabbed a little kid by the head and pulled her over the fence and gnawed on her face. Yeah, I'm not going to let that animal go. Obviously, it's vicious, and we ended up euthanizing that animal. Not every animal that comes in because it bit or because it killed has to be euthanized. And I think a lot of people have to realize that. If you have any issues with that, give me a call. I'd love to talk to you about it. You bet. The community would like a list of employees at the ASCMV along with their positions so they know who to contact and when, who are in charge of the day-to-day operations and how they are performed. What I want you to do to answer that is to call and say what you need, and you'll be directed to the right person. Right now, we have so many people wearing different hats that it would be impossible to keep up on a list like that online. So just call, say, if I need a foster, you'll be sent to Vanessa, or if she's not here, you might be sent to Amy or Liz, or a voice message. We have nobody keeping over fosters right now because there's no such position as a foster coordinator. It's hanging out in HR right now, waiting with the vast number of others to be done. So just call. How many kennels will be available? Will be available once the addition is completed for the ASCMV. So the ASCMV is going to be broken out into, for dogs, into pods. I'm going to show you this. Can you still see that? The blueprint? Okay. So these are the dog areas right here. They're called pods. Each pod has 12 large and then 6 small. And you times that by 4, that gives us 48 large, 24 small kennels. The cats are gonna be here in the middle. This is all glass front on the outside, so you can see the cats in cages. If I remember right, these cages are 3 high. So 3 times 4 is 12, so there'll be 12 there, 12 there, 12 there, 12 there, and vice versa here. And then cat condos, where the cats, after they're sterilized and sociable, will come into these cat condos. And we're looking, you know, I haven't talked with the doc about it, but I'm assuming anywhere from 3 to 8 in each cat condo. So there's going to be a lot, is what we're saying. And we're really excited about this layout. It's going to help us clean properly. Now that's just for the stray and also for adoptable. All medical cases are going to be up at the animal center, the current facility we are at now. And here they'll be able to be treated with Doc and the others here on hand. The rest of that question is, how will you be keeping up with that increase of animals? And are you hiring for staff to meet this demand? Well, there really is no increase in animals because we're just moving them, right? One to the other. It is a larger area. So yes, we're planning on probably increasing by 3 to 4 or in each area around that much. I know Doc's gonna have to get some more. I know front staff will have to get some more. And I know that kennels, our animal caregivers will have to get some more. So that's a budget issue, right? We need to go and say, this is how many we need and be approved for that. And then they have to pay it. If they don't pay it, they being the city and the county, then we have to do the best we can. Unfortunately, what that means, if they don't give me more people or money to hire more people, we may have empty cages and have to be euthanizing because I don't have the staff to care for that number of animals. All right, who is allowed to pull animals from the shelter to foster versus adopt versus rescue? I don't really understand that question, but that could be anyone. You know, anybody can come and foster, anybody can adopt, anybody can come, any rescue can come and rescue. And then they say, how does this process work? Pretty much you call and you just get in touch with the right individual, say what you need to do, and we'll be able to help you out there. Do you screen your fosters for the animal they are fostering? It depends. If they're just fostering an animal because they want to save a life, then no, we don't need to screen that individual. If it's somebody who's taking care of bottle babies, yeah, Dr. Haddon's going to put them through the 3rd degree. What are we going to do? If it's somebody caring for a sick animal that has parvo, yeah, they're going to be asked a lot of questions and find out if they're up to this task. Behavior issues, those are really hard because the individual has to have the knowledge to be able to do that. We'll get into that later. What is changing at the ASCMV for the new TNR program? Not really a lot is changing per what we're doing because we've been doing it for county for years. It's just more surgeries coming out, and that's what we have to change. How are you handling this increase of spay neuter and still keep on top of the they were out 700 animals, but we actually have about over 500 animals in the facility. So priority goes to the shelter animals, meaning shelter animals will continue to be sterilized throughout the week, as many of the appointments that we can get. As many as the veterinarians, contract veterinarians we can get to come do the surgeries. We also are going to be setting up a day for public sterilizations for cats, for community cats. And this day is yet to be determined. We're working on the best day available for that. And then the animal or the cats that are coming in for community cats, they're going to be plugged in every single surgery day so we can get them out as fast as possible. We don't want them here any more than 2 days, and that includes recovery. We want them out as soon as we can. We were euthanizing anywhere between 60 and 50 feral animals a month. So you put that into surgery days in a month, we'll be trying to fit those 4 to 5 every single week or every single day or week.
Excuse me, Clint, my dad has a quick question.
Quick, what's up?
Yeah, but yeah, in the past, perhaps you've already answered this question, but you were in a process of getting another vet. Did that ever come through?
Yeah, we've talked about that. We're in the process of getting one. We've been funded for it. It's just finding that veterinarian. We've been searching for over 6 months for this veterinarian. Like I said, we put the feelers out. We've created a postcard talking about the pros of Las Cruces and the pros of the area, El Paso being close. Talked about the pro of the position, how much we're paying, benefits. And we sent that out to over 200 different places between ag schools, vets, and what else, Doc? Anywhere we could think of. We sent over 200 of them out. So we're still waiting to hear back. That was about mid-August, if I remember right, they went out.
Yeah, we also posted on VIN, which is a veterinary information network. We also posted to University of Florida that has a shelter medicine program that I'm in, and they posted it to all their students. So it's lots of places being seen. It's a very, it's a new specialty. And so there aren't a lot of folks that do it.
Yeah, and we're not looking just for a regular veterinarian. We need somebody that has that shelter experience. Shelter medicine is totally, incredibly different than a regular veterinarian practice. Now, that can be that can be beat into somebody. So if we have somebody that's that's newer right now, we need somebody that can do surgeries. So we're working on it. This one I'm going to turn over to Dr. Haddon. She would like to address this. It says, when does the shelter feel it is appropriate to make the public aware of the distemper and parvo cases that are affecting many fosters, adopted, impounded animals this year?
Typically, we bring the public in and our rescues in if there's an outbreak. Now, an outbreak is different than multiple cases within the center. I mean, we expect to have multiple cases, but when it gets to outbreak levels and there's not really a number, you know, if we feel that it's not being contained, we will put it out there. We are in the process of working with Shelter Lab, talking to them about disease tracking, because I'm having some issues with the program. Because if something's transferred out, it doesn't show that it came from a litter here. I lose the connectivity in Shelter Love. So we do track it, but again, it's that outbreak level. And again, there's not a number to that.
We get more animals, and correct me if I'm wrong, Doc, but we get more animals coming in with the disease from the public than we do here in the center. We have to euthanize animals on ACO's trucks because distemper, it's in the onset or the advanced stages and they're twitching. Advanced stages of parvo where they're just so dehydrated. You pinch the skin and it just stays tented and they're just so far gone. So I would rather much say that it needs to be addressed in the public first before it's addressed here. Do we have sickness and these diseases at the center? Yes, we do. I'll never deny that. It's a matter of managing them, and there's always that risk, and it's in our adoption and I think our foster agreement as well. But that is there.
The problem that we have with distemper is that they can have an exposure, and then 2 to 3 months later they break with disease, and during that time they can be shedding. So that's the problem. And we have hot spots. I've tracked that. We don't test for distemper per se, but if someone they've got a very heavy respiratory issue, and especially if it goes into seizures, has neurologic symptoms, we call it distemper. Probably 95% of those come from one area. So we really watch animals from those areas. So distemper is a very hard one. Parvo is a little easier.
When you say area, are you talking about the center or the community?
The community, I'm sorry. The community, where they originate from, where the animals originate from. Oftentimes they bring it in, and then they break later while they're here because of the stress.
Thank you very much. And Doc, you may want to comment on this one too. Is Dr. Haddon interested in a free spay-neuter program or clinic once a month to address the very serious overpopulation issues Las Cruces is experiencing?
At some point in time, yes. Right now, we are up to our nose in what we have right now. I would love to be able to offer that, but we're treading water right now, sinking slowly.
So y'all, you got to remember that it's more than just let's do a clinic. You have to plan it, which takes an incredible amount of time. You have to have the staff to staff it. In this case, we would have to do overtime to an already strained budget. You have to have the schedule, the animals coming in. If it's a mobile clinic, like a lot of people want us to do, you have to plan for where animals going to be kept when they come in. Somebody has to be there to have the animals come in and recovery. It's so hard to plan. It's not just a simple, let's have a clinic. And you can ask Liz about that. Liz planned the last drive-through clinic and she did fabulous, but that was 3 months in the making.
So as far as mobile spay neuter, there has to be someone within the community that we can work with, because I've done these mobiles in northern New Mexico, and they typically work with a group in that community. They set up the mobile van at a church, a fire station, something like that. The people in the community, we tell them how many we can do, and they set it up. But you also have to have an agreement with a local veterinarian to cover any emergencies that might happen after the fact. So there's a whole slew of things that need to be addressed. Like Clint said, it's not, let's take the mobile, which we don't have anyway, but we have, put all our staff on this mobile that we don't have and go to this community. And it's very involved planning something like that.
Thank you. Next question. What programs are in place to help fosters get more public attention? So I'm sure many of you saw on Facebook, we just started a Foster Friday. This is a great idea by our new, not official foster coordinator, Vanessa. Oh boy. Nope, it's gone. Dang it, I hate that. She came up with a great idea of doing, let's have them, our fosters, be promoted. And the cool thing is you're doing your own. So we just do a post on Friday. Let's see those fosters, and you choose what picture you want, post in the comments on Facebook, and then everybody can see those to where it's shared to. So it was a great idea on her part. Again, it started today, so we have that. Other than that, the foster themselves is an incredible resource. Get the animal out, go for a walk. Some of the resources, let me back up. Before Ashley left, we found some money for her for the foster program. She requested a bunch of items. Some of those were vests for Adopt. So we're going to get those ordered. And it's, go for a walk with your dog that has a Adopt Me vest on. Anything you can do to promote your foster, that would be up to you. The next question is, when animals are in foster long-term, are they listed first for adoption or rescue? And no, it's not how the system works. It's not, and by the system, I mean by Shelter Love, our computer program. It doesn't list them first when you're looking for animals available for adoption. It's going to be up to you to push that animal. And also you want to keep in contact with Liz and Amy when they're making the rescues lists. You can always offer the animals. There's nothing wrong with emailing Liz and Amy and saying, when's the next rescue? Here's a picture of my foster. So they can always have it on their mind. I know they do a good job of keeping track of animals that are in foster for that. Are there any discounts that you have arranged with any local veterinarians for people who need to seek medical care immediately after adoption? No, we don't have anything in place, but what we do have is you have 10 days after the day of adoption where you can bring the animal in for care, and we'll do everything we can in our capabilities to help you with that animal. So 10 days from adoption, you're covered here at the center for that. I was just thinking of an exception, but I can't think of one. It was in my head, now it's gone. Is there any way we can get better pictures, videos of the adoptable dogs, since you have to make an appointment to meet and greet based on those set photos? We're working on it. We have volunteers coming in like once or twice a month. I know Monica does a great job sometimes getting those pictures. So it's on a basis where if you are available to come and help do pictures, you're more than welcome to come and do pictures.
Just real quick, in fact, today a professional photographer at 3:30 is coming in with a group dog walkers. We got like 35 dogs on the list. So we're going to be out there at 3:30.
All right. Thank you very much. That's great support. Appreciate it.
I have a quick question. As a volunteer, are we allowed to just come into the shelter and do that? Or do we need to set that up with you guys ahead of time?
No, I don't. Monica, did you set it up ahead of time?
I didn't inform Yolanda, but that's just
fine.
how to come in and out. But Yolanda is a volunteer coordinator, and I'm sure she'll be happy to start organizing group walks and helping wherever that is. And so, yeah.
If I remember right, in our managers meeting, Yolanda said that she is getting a hold of Claren, who does our training for dog walking, and we're going to be doing one if I remember right. So yeah, get in touch with Yolanda and she can help you out there, Jessica.
There is training required before you come in and do dog walking. And there's paperwork that needs to be done prior to also. So again, Yolanda, yes.
Some people are confused on how they can become a foster. Can you remind everyone how they're able to do that? Call the center, ask for Vanessa, and she'll be able to get you in on that. All right, really quick, please talk about TNR. I could talk about TNR all day if you wanted to. It's very boring. Just know that the city passed the ordinance to allow us to do a trap, neuter, return. We've already talked about it pretty much ad nauseum. Just know that we are working on a budget that shares the load so we can get some money back from the city on it. And like I said, also we're looking at grants. And special thanks to the Animal Task Force Subcommittee and an incredible group of women that are working hard on getting this passed, getting a budget passed, getting a policy in place. Without them, in the ordinance, it says we have to have a policy in place 120 days from the date of the ordinance passing. And there's been zero communication or anything from the city. So without them, this ordinance would probably fall flat. So thank you very much for that. Core the Shelter so far. Michelle, do you have numbers for Core the Shelter numbers so far, adoption numbers? Michelle, you're on mute.
Sorry, got my phone ringing off the hook. I am so sorry, Clint. I got stuck in the front office and didn't get those numbers right away.
All right, can you look into it while we're talking? About 10 minutes and we'll.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, Clint, is that with the Borman paying for all the fees?
Yes, they're sponsoring those adoptions, yes.
Okay, so that'll be different than the community actually coming in to buy them themselves, right? Because the Borman's doing it for the whole month, paying the adoption fees?
Until September 19th, they're sponsoring all adoptions full.
Okay, so that total is what I'm saying will be from Borman pretty much paying for the fees for all the adoptions?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're going to get those numbers. From what I can tell you, it's going really, really well. We're really excited about the program this year. Construction update, things are looking good. Footings are in place. We have every day, it seems like they're doing something new. So we're excited for that. Like I said, they're going to be taking over the lot area. We're still, they say, in late 22. What year is it? 21? So next year, late next year is what they're saying. So far, there have not been any delays due to COVID. And what I mean by that is usually supplies. That's what manufacturers are saying is the delay in a lot of the supplies. So far, none of that. Vacant positions. In the front office, we have 6 vacant positions, 1 full-time, 5 part-time. In this round of hiring that Michelle is doing, she plans on filling all of those. Well, no, I'm sorry. She said 3 of those. And right now, the process is at the tour level. So people have applied, they've reviewed them, and now she's going to send a letter out saying, hey, you're invited to the next level, come have a tour for that. We usually lose about maybe 1/3 to the tour. Either they don't come or they didn't like it. So, and that's the reason why we do that. The reason why she's not doing all 6 at one time is she said there is no way that she can train 6 people, all brand new, all at the same time. So she's staggering that a little bit. On the medical side, we have 2 full-time positions that are vacant. They're in the final steps of filling 1 spot. In kennels, there's 6 vacant. That's 3 full-time, 3 part-time. And their plan in this last round of hiring, where it's in the HR spot, so HR contacts them for drug tests and things like that. That's where it's at, and he plans on filling all of those positions. Just of note, last time we were doing that again, and somebody failed their drug test. So all that work for just 2 people. So it gets frustrating sometimes. Don't do drugs. All right, next question. You used to have first-time forgiveness for first-time offenders for dogs impounded. Is that still available? No, that was a grant given to us by Best Friends. And that money was exhausted a while ago. And then they go on and asking about how you can normalize the waiving of fees. Y'all, all you have to do is ask. If you can't afford to get your dog back, we're not here to keep it from you. We want to get it back. That was the whole point of the animal coming here, was us to hold on to it for you and keep it healthy for you, vaccinate it for you, and get it back to you. Believe it or not, we don't want it here. So you need to ask, tell us, are you having hardship? We'll be able to waive fees. We've done everything so much of sterilizing an animal for free so you can have it back. So you have to talk to us, have to open your mouth. What I don't like is when people leave here and then they go to a rescue group or somebody else and they say, they wouldn't work with us. They're jerks. Well, they never said anything. We'd love to. So please pass that on. All you have to do is just ask. Since shelters are full and euthanizing dogs and cats for space, can fosters take dogs or cats home, not fixed, as there are animals of opposite sex of the animal you are wanting to foster is fixed already? It's a really confusing sentence. I think what they meant is, can I foster an animal that's not sterilized if the animals I have at home are already fixed? And the answer is usually yes, we can do that. There are some individuals who we've had issues with in the past. For instance, an unsterilized dog went out to a home that had sterilized animals. The dog got out and got pregnant, and then they refused to bring the animal back in so we could spay it out. It was a huge mess. And if we wouldn't have ever done it, we wouldn't have had a pregnant dog. So there's been a lot of obstacles, or we've had a horrible time sometimes getting the animal back in for sterilization. As many as 3 or 4 appointments canceled. And when these appointments canceled, that's appointments we could have had somebody else that would have come in and sterilized. So you can thank individuals who have really abused the system, I guess you could say. I was spoiling that, but no, usually it's on a case-by-case basis on the unsterilized part. Overnights for foster animals for potential adopters were a great idea. Are you continuing this? Yes, we have an overnight program. It can be even stretched to a couple nights, but again, it's kind of a moot point because we do the 3-week return with no issues at all. All right, what time is it? Where are we at?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. All right, Bernice, you're going to be my timekeeper. Please address the foster process and ask people who foster a lot their opinion on where holes are in the program. I'd like to address the foster to adopt program meeting in place. All right, we've already gone over the foster to adopt program. We can cross that out. If you have specifics on how to improve our foster program, email me and Vanessa. I'm not going to give Vanessa's email address out only because I don't know it off the top of my head, but email me. I will get it to her. If you have specifics, I don't need to hear something blasé, okay? Also, please note that the number one reason why it's not successful is we heard the cry from the public. We put one in place without a coordinator in place. We knew it was going to be an issue, but we wanted to get the foster program started. So that's the big thing that needs to happen is we need to get a coordinator. What is being done to strengthen the foster program? Here's again, foster coordinator position has been approved. It's in HR. Because it's a brand new position, y'all, it has to go through this, oh, Bernice, what do they call it when they sent it out to somewhere? A consultant. They sent it to a consultant to see how much it's going to get paid, what the salary range is. And Kathy, you know all about this. They had to figure out the where it fits in the whole system of jobs and the pay, and it's a nightmare. Has to be done, so we're just staying there. All right, how often are the water bowls sanitized in the dishwasher? Fantastic question. Cats, water dishes are done every time the cat leaves the cage. So when it's reset, it's done then. And then for the dogs, they're emptied, sprayed with rescued, and then rinsed and put back in and filled with water. Now, with that said, are there going to be some gross ones that are out there that may have gone through the ringer per se that the dog's done? Yes, there might be some dirty ones. If it's an issue and you see something and you're a volunteer, then say something. If you see it, say it so we can get it fixed, okay? Here are some questions. When are adoption events happening other than one day at farmers market? Right now, it's currently it. I do know this weekend we have an extra one. And I think there's one other planned later on, but with our limited staff, that's the best we can do, especially, and also with volunteers. Can volunteers be asked to help staff at these events again? They already are. We have volunteers at farmers market every single week, and specials like we have the Clear the Center or Clear the Shelter going on right now. Those are free sponsored adoptions. And then almost every month we have some type of special that's going on where we're going to try to discount the animals. Can anyone work on monthly poster like 12 cats and one for 12 dogs, make these long-term shelter animals? If not, staff do it, ask for volunteers. So I'm asking for volunteers. If you're interested in helping out and making these posters that's been wanted, whether it be digital or in the front lobby, then we need your help. We don't have the manpower right now to go the extra step above and beyond, which should be done. Right now, we're kind of firing on all cylinders in a limited place. So please, if you're interested, you can do that. Is it 2 o'clock?
1 minute.
1 minute. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more. All right. Do a separate poster promoting senior long-term cats and dogs first, then other seniors. So I get this person really wants long-terms to be posted or being brought up. And again, it's just an issue of digitally creating them so you can share them on Facebook. And if anybody has any time or volunteering, we'd love to have that opportunity. Can you arrange something safely for testing cats and dogs to see their reaction to each other? No, there's no safety. There's no safe way to do it. How does an animal communicate and react? Sight, sound, and smell. And we're also all about trying to reduce the stress level. So if we put a cat or a dog in a room with a cat, even if it's safely behind something, that cat doesn't care if it's safely inside of a crate or safely inside of a cage. It's going to have a high stress level. High stress level means sickness, etc. Again, there's that time period. You can have it in your home as fosters, and you can tell the rescues that way. But no, there's no safe way. If you know of something, I'd love to hear about it.
Hey, Clint, how about if one of us bring our own personal cat in a crate just to see how the dog reacts?
Not here at the center. You're not going to do it. Nope.
Okay, so we can do that on our own time in foster?
Sure.
Okay.
I wouldn't recommend it because you're causing fear to your cat, but that's up to you.
Well, it's either that or the dog gets there and eats the cat later.
I was told we are allowed to offer to foster owners surrender cats or dogs after trying to give them options to keep animals. Yes, you sure are. Thank you. Since you get donations daily from the community, what can you supply to fosters from the fosters they take home to make it easier for them to care for animals? The better way to ask that is what is wanted. Ask it, and then we'll see if we have it so we can loan it to you and provide that for you, okay? Because other than that, I'll be listing things all day long of things that we could or couldn't do. When will the shelter allow prospective adopters to walk through and pick the dogs they want to meet? Right now, the plan is not to change making appointments. I know some people don't like it, but a lot of major organizations support that decision, including Best Friends and ASPCA. They all state that appointment-based is definitely the less stressful way to go for the animals and also for the staff.
What about people, Clint, that don't have
individuals cited a lot of different things and from different individuals. And I'll just say right now, that's the way that we're going to be doing it.
What about people, Clint, that don't have computer access? How are they able to see animals at the shelter?
That's such a small number. If they were to come, I would have them walk through the center. We've done that. Somebody says, I like to see animals. I don't have.
They can call ahead then, in other words, and make an appointment for a walkthrough. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that because between a phone or a computer, almost everybody has access to the internet right now.
We could potentially also provide a Surface, a laptop or something for them to look through. Because I still worry about the animals and the reaction to the animals and hands in the kennels and all that. So,
I've had one and I sat with him at the computer and that's how we did it. I mean, it's not a big deal. All they have to do is let us know.
And also this person goes through a lot and they're stating reasons. And one of them was to tell people to stay away and stay back. I'm telling you, they don't. It is impossible to walk by a dog kennel without saying hi and putting your finger in.
So Clint, how's that different from the volunteers and the kennel workers and those people coming in to walk dogs? If you're afraid the dogs are getting stressed, that's why you don't want people to come in to actually look at them.
Yep, that's exactly right. So it's less, Star. I mean, it's like having 15 house guests and that 16th house guest is just going to push you over the limit. It's less people coming into the kennel. Is it different? Is it different? No, it's not different. They're doing the same thing, except my staff isn't sticking their fingers in, and neither are the volunteers that are walking. But it's less stress overall. And also they get a quiet time too. If we had dogs coming in or people coming in to see the animals, there's no quiet time.
Well, they get that at night all night long. And it worked before when you guys did it. So I was just wondering what the difference is.
Star, it didn't work before. We had our health herd and the amount we were spending on medicine went down significantly when we closed the center down, significantly. And I'm not talking just because the lower number of animals, the treatment was lower, everything. And that's when we had, and also the rest of the animal industry had an aha moment. Doc, did you want to say anything?
Yes, it's a risk benefit is what it boils down to. I mean, they need the social interaction. They need to get out of the kennels, and we can't provide that without having volunteers come in. If we could, then we'd say no volunteers, but we're not saying that because we want them to get out. And it's the numbers, and they get used to specific volunteers and specific kennels, so they do get accustomed to you. It's the same person coming all the time, so they're less reactive. But you got to look at it as a risk benefit. We want the volunteers to come in to be able to give them enrichment, but strangers just walking through constantly, it's not healthy for them.
No. All right, thanks. Next one is why is it when animals are being put down for lack of space, there is not enough notice to the community to help save those animals or call outs to foster parents to see if they can help? This has been an issue for a long time. And I'll say it again, I've said it once, and I don't know why it continues to get put on a lot by the people that are in this chat. We don't do a list because every animal that would leave the center is a life saved. We're at the point right now where we're not making a list that if you want to come and save an animal or to foster an animal, that is saving a life. Literally, you just saved a life. Because we have animals coming in, we don't know what the continual amount is. It could be 20, it could be 50. And so whatever comes in, we have to euthanize later that day in order to fit them in. So again, if you have, this is a call, if you have room to foster, come foster. If you have a place for adoption, then come adopt. But it wouldn't make any sense for us to make a list every single day, because we would either have to euthanize less than that list, or we have to euthanize more than that list. Next part is social media is the way of the world now. Why not have more of a presence online? I take offense to that, because I am on Facebook a lot and I think I do a wonderful job. You're supposed to laugh a little bit at that. No, she's right. We have a little bit of a presence. We definitely need to get better. As part of our marketing plan, we have Wilson Binkley is going to be starting, if I remember correctly, it's the Snapchat. I just sounded really old when I said the Snapchat. They're going to be doing Snapchat for us as part of the marketing. I know our grant writer is taking up Instagram. She's reset that for us. And then TikTok, we do have a TikTok account. It is so hard to keep all of these up and going with interested media and information. This person says, just show animals playing. It's not that easy just to hit record and then post it. But it is definitely on our list. Like I said, marketing is on it. If there's any volunteers or fosters that are interested in doing some of the social media, we'll for sure would like to have your help with that. So please pass the word on. Last question. And this was from actually a Facebook post that somebody sent to me and said it'd be a good idea to send it out to everybody in this meeting. When a foster picks up a dog that tested negative for heartworms, and this is a foster, mind you, could the ASCMV provide a prescription for the foster to purchase heartworm prevention? If the foster is willing to spend the money, could you include an information sheet with the animal indicating that the foster can order preventative online using Dr. Haddon's name as the vet? So our foster coordinator / veterinarian technician responded and said, yes, all fosters can pay for heartworm prevention. You'll have to make arrangements with the medical staff, but it's super easy to place the order online at chewy.com or 1-800-PET-MEDS. And then they, being that company, will call the ASCMV and the medical staff will approve the prescription. Easy as that. Just contact us during business hours to be able to do it. We did it. Can't tell you, I was so stressed we wouldn't get through it. And really, we didn't in the hour, but we still did it. If you have more questions and you want me to answer in person, you're welcome to call me. If you have more questions and you want to email me. More than happy to talk with you. Thank you very much. Just to let you know, also, our drive-through clinic that we had mid-August was a huge success. Biggest was 471 rabies vaccines given, 239 microchips. We saw over 560 animals and 350 vehicles just from the hours of 9 to 2. So it was phenomenal. Not one of the biggest show-outs we've had, but definitely the most we've done in that small amount of time. So we're getting better at them. Thank you all very much. I appreciate all you've done. There was a question in chat. If someone wanted to apply for a veterinarian technician position, would it be best to submit it now? The city is the one who does all of our hiring. So you just need to look at the city website. Doc, is that job open right now? I don't think it is.
No, it's not open yet. We just finished some other things in order so that we can open it. So it will be posted hopefully by next week.
All right. And Michelle sent me a message that so far we're at 50 adoptions. So that's fantastic. For Clear the Center. Thank you all very much. I appreciate all you're doing. Spread the word. We are kicking some butt and we want to continue to do so. Thank you for your help. We'll see you later.
Bye.